Remember those times in class when the teacher is asked a question and your answer is surely correct, yet when you look around, the majority of people have chosen an option completely different? What about the times your friends pressured you into stealing that pack of gum? There was no problems at the time. As a part of the group, you felt confident, secure, and like, so cool. But when you found that your answer was actually the correct one, or you were caught with the items in your bag, do you remember your cowardice reason for acting as you did? The vast majority of people recall saying, "Everybody is doing it," a sentence that is one of the worst four-word combinations in the English language. Conformity is defined as behavior that is the same as the behavior of most other people in a society or group. The fact or state of agreeing with or obeying something. I read this book called Brave New World in the 8th grade, a novel featuring a dystopia with a society that makes its members conform to its standards. Conformity is seen within the novel in ways of how you act, how you look, what you wear, and ultimately how you live. I think that the high school environment around us relates to this sort of conformity, in the way that it shapes how you perceive something and ultimately sways you in one direction or another. There are so many pressures as a teenager into conforming to acceptable ideals of their buying habits, self-image, and actions. Where does this need to conform come from? Psychologist Abraham Maslow suggests a hierarchy of human needs, and one of the needs is to feel the urge to belong and be accepted by friends, families, and peers. They want to belong to a family, but most teenagers also want to establish trust relationships with everyone they see. We join gangs and cliques and select friends in an effort to feel a sense of belonging. One way we achieve this sense is to dress and act like friends or members of the clique or gang. Conformity, for some of us, helps satisfy the belonging need. Since we were children, most of us have been conditioned to believe that we are not good enough as we are, and that we need to change in order to be accepted by society. Parents, teachers, priests, and all other kinds of authority figures forced us to conform to society's standards, or else they warned us we'd be left alone, abandoned. Out of fear, we choose to conform. Now, although we've been accepted by society, deep down we feel empty and insecure. We feel lonely and disconnected. We have suppressed ourselves so much that we don't anymore recognize who we are. We've lost touch with our own selves. Unless we realize our uniqueness and accept ourselves for who we are without letting others force upon their opinions of how we should be, we're never going to find peace and contentment. But how can one do so? I remember when I got to this school, I was so different from everyone else. I came from a magnet school in Raleigh, knowing maybe at most 3 people. Actually, one of the people I knew was this girl named Sachi. I always wore something bummy, and I was always too studious, and I wasn't at all athletic in a sports-centric environment. Of course, these things were really important for me to fix. I wanted to fit in. I drowned in pressure to dress like my preppy friend, pressure to act like my indolent friend, and pressure to be as athletic as my athletic friend, pressure to be like everyone else. I went down a rabbit hole, and I lost myself. But Sachi actually helped me last year in calculus class, and she helped me find who I was again. She reminded me of who I was again before high school, myself. Since then, I have been so much happier, but it's not a one-time battle. I've had a really rough year this year, and I lost myself to conformity. And over break, I had a lot of time to think to myself, and I realized what I've lost once again. What I have to say to everyone is be aware, recognize your conformity, pull yourself out, whether through your passions, a friend, or even just yourself. Most importantly, be you. Thank you.